And welcome. Yes, and I am so excited for this one. Dude, this episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier was crazy. Yeah. Yeah, so let me just welcome anyone if this might be your first time. This is kind of our weekly little after Marvel show, I guess you would say. We've been kind of doing them on all of the latest Disney Plus Marvel shows like WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and soon to be Loki. Excited about that one too. Yeah, and so the way we're going to do it is we're just going to kind of go through the episode quickly with some bullet points, maybe interrupt each other a little bit with some theory talk. And then we're just going to kind of talk about what the hell is going to go on from here and all the crazy stuff that happened this episode. Alright, so this episode opens up with that awesome, like, warehouse fight scene where they basically find John Walker. He's totally broken. He's like yelling at himself, like, why didn't I listen? Why, hearing... Yeah, totally having a little breakdown. And then Sam and Bucky come running in, and they're actually very chill at first, which I really respected that. They were, like, it's okay, you made a mistake. It was the heat of the moment. And, John Walker's basically... Yeah, and John Walker's basically, trying to say that it was him. He's the one that killed Lamar. They're like, dude, don't go down this path, like this isn't the way, like, it was the heat of the battle, and it basically, in no time at all, it goes down. He's not going down without a fight, and Bucky's like, yeah, let's do it, like, I've been waiting for this fight. yeah, exactly. But they eventually totally kick his ass, and they, like, break his arm to do it and everything, and yeah. But I mean, it's not like they didn't have a little loss of their own. Like, Sam completely got his wings ripped off. Like, that was epic. Dude, yes, that was crazy. So then, moving on, we see John Walker is in his trial, and he's and he basically gets stripped of his title from his government overseers, and he's not happy about it. He even screams out, like, I am Captain America. So he's not wanting to... Yeah, I was, like, thinking he was gonna, like, burst through the doors or do something super angry, but then, as we move into the next scene, we meet this girl, Val. I'm reminded that no one knows that he took the serum yet. And I'm like, oh, that's probably why he was trying his hardest to keep from freaking out. Even though, he did hit the podium pretty hard. Yeah. So did I, dude. But yeah, so no one really knows. Even the government, no one knows he took the serum. Except for this mystery chick. She seems to know a lot about John Walker. Yeah, I'm going to call her Val for now because I don't know her long-ass name yet. Yeah, just not to her face. Yeah, exactly. So I know that she's supposed to be, like, a big Easter egg and someone important, and she was supposed to be, like, our big character reveal of this episode, but full disclosure, I have, like, no clue who she is. I'm definitely still gonna have to do some digging on that. The one little micro thing I've heard that I don't even know anything about is I heard the name Lady Red Skull. So, yeah, so there's definitely something very important and probably super sinister to do with her character. I don't know what it is yet. Dude, I was in love with that. I was like, that's the coolest business card ever. So yeah, and then we see Sam, he leaves his wings with Torres. Yeah, and yeah, it is interesting too because originally I didn't really trust Torres. If you remember me talking about it in the first episode, he was just asking so many questions, and I'm like, this guy seems suspicious. But now Yeah. But now I see it differently. I see him as more of a fanboy asking questions. And not even a fanboy. Someone who highly respects the Falcon and what he stands for. So I completely switched around on it. And now, if anything, I feel like he is going to be maybe taking up the mantle of the Falcon eventually. Yes. Yeah. You know what, dude? Before we get too far, I have you unmuted, but I don't see your sound bar going up at all. Are you coming through your audio on the live stream? Sorry, folks. I'm gonna double check. Yes, it was.
It was coming through? Or
Is
it was
it?
muted? Hold up.
Oh, you were asking me.
Sorry, folks. Oh! I'm not hearing me.
No?
Is the audio source correct?
Save. Talk for me? Oh. I didn't change it yet in your my end. Your sorry about this, folks. I promise we'll get this figured out right away. But your it doesn't look like it's. Let me see. Let's try that. Now talk for me again. Yeah, you don't. This isn't good. I don't know. Okay. Talk for me.
Yo, am I coming through yet?
I think.
This is strange.
Yeah, you're coming through now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What was the issue?
The source was different, but usually I have the source straight from my
Desktop audio.
or from my desktop, but I just switched it to what was coming through my headphones, and that seemed to work. But
Okay.
Yeah, I even turned off the background music just because I don't know if it was gonna like double it through since it was doing my headphones and that. But the important thing is we can hear you now.
All right.
So yeah, sorry about that,
Problem
folks.
solved.
But yeah, just to catch everyone up, if you skipped over to this part where we're back, we're just kind of going through the episode. We talked about how they had that crazy, awesome opening fight scene, and John Walker got his ass kicked and his arm broken. We talked about we talked about how he got all of his he got his title stripped by his government overseers, and was approached by this mystery character named Val, who we
with the awesome business card.
Yeah, we don't know anything about yet. And then the exciting thing, we talked about that Torres might not be as suspicious as I once thought, and I'm kind of thinking that maybe he'll be taking up the mantle of Falcon one day, like with him leaving the wings with him. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that could be super interesting.
Yeah, so I don't really know exactly, if was just hoping he would fix them for him, or if he is gonna take it upon himself to try them on and try to be Falcon himself. But I think it would be cool because I see Sam moving forward from here. We'll talk about it a little bit further, but I think he will end up taking the Captain America mantle. So I do see the position of Falcon possibly being open to Torres eventually.
Yeah, I see that as well.
So moving forward in the episode, we see Bucky confronts Zemo. And
at the Sokovian Memorial.
Yes. He was like, I thought you would be here sooner. I thought it was very interesting. They knew that this meeting had to come to pass eventually.
Yes.
And it was
I feel like this was a very powerful moment.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
and it was like super intense at first too, like with the gun and dude.
yeah,
I
I loved that moment because to me, like, because it was right after the dialogue of like, oh, they programmed you to be a killer. You know what I mean? You know what you need to do.
Yeah.
And then I saw it as a really interesting moment. It was like a metaphorical moment of like, I'm not just a killer sort of deal. I thought that was super interesting.
Dude, is it just me or I slightly feared that Zemo was gonna like try to recite the words, like the Winter Soldier words? And I was like, oh my god, like, what if Zemo just knows how to do it in a special way that it just like it gets Bucky again?
It just sinks in, yeah. Dude,
so
that would have been crazy.
Yeah, but then the Dora Milaje end up showing up behind him, and they take him in. And, and they basically tell the White Wolf, yo, maybe lay low in Wakanda for a little bit.
Yeah, don't come back to Wakanda for a while.
Yeah. So.
This is also, I want to say, Bucky seems to call in a favor with the Wakandans that we'll see later on.
Oh, yeah, that's where he asks for what we'll eventually see what's in the box, I guess.
What's in the box?
So yeah, to move forward a little bit, we see Sam. He visits Isaiah Bradley again, and they have a very interesting, deep conversation. And we find out that Isaiah, back when he had the super serum and he was fighting, that basically his entire team was going to be killed. They were being considered as evidence. Totally barbaric.
Yes.
And he took it upon himself to try and rescue them. And he basically, he did it. It seemed like he succeeded at first, but it didn't matter because all of them ended up getting killed eventually. And he ended up being put in prison for trying to help them. And then furthermore to the sadness, we find out that his love died while he was in prison. So,
and they told her like every day he's dead.
Dude, just completely heartbreaking. Like I told
dude, that's rough.
Yeah, and I thought it was very interesting that Sam came to him and was like no more just like expecting me to understand what you're talking about. Like, please tell me exactly what you went through so I can have some kind of sympathy and some kind of perspective of what you're talking about. And I definitely think it did resonate with Sam, and especially the way that Isaiah said it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. Like that was a very intense moment.
Yeah.
And I think it was another moment that kind of fits with the theme we've talked about in previous live streams of how it's like this series is sort of confronting like what is Captain America? What does it mean to be Captain America? And what does that mean to different groups of people? It's like the interesting twist this episode through one, too.
Yeah, exactly. What that means to different people. Like, when he was talking, I was almost thinking, like, man, this really could be the complete end of the Captain America mantle. Like, I don't know if it should exist after everything that I was hearing. But then, my opinions grew and changed a little bit with Sam's as the episode progressed. But that moment definitely made me think twice. That moment definitely made me think, wow, like there is some perspectives here that aren't completely understood and aren't seen. They're hidden away. His story was erased. Just
completely erased from history.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, so to move on with the episode a little bit, we see Bucky and Steve, right? Or I'm sorry, not Steve. I wish. Bucky and Sam. They're tossing the shield around and having a little heart to heart.
Yeah, that was like therapy take 2.
Yeah,
I feel like,
dude,
it was only missing the super uncomfortable closeness and staring.
Yeah. It was super cool watching them bounce the shield off of the trees and that kind of thing. That was cool, and
that was really cool.
And because we got to see a little bit of that in like the trailers a while back, and I think we just saw Sam throwing it. So then when I saw like Bucky catch it and he was throwing it back too. That was cool.
Yes, it was like he was like teaching him a little bit.
Yeah. Like maybe giving him some pointers.
All right, this is exactly. Yeah. And like I feel like this was really like a turning moment in their relationship.
Oh yeah,
You know what I
100%.
mean?
They got a lot of
moment.
understanding from each other.
Yes.
To expand on that, Sam tells Bucky he needs to do the hard work to get better. He needs to, instead of just saying sorry, he needs to help at least one. Start with one of these victims and help them find some type of closure. Do the work, not just the quick, easy fix that you think is going to make you feel better, but do the hard things, the awkward conversations, put in the time, you know. So that was an interesting conversation. And that's probably going to lead to, I forget the gentleman's name, but that Bucky was...
Mr. Nakajima.
Yeah, it's probably going to go back to him and him having to explain that he killed his son and all that heartbreak.
Oh, I 100% agree.
Yeah. And then
I 100% agree.
And Bucky, he actually apologizes to Sam for being so hard on him about the shield and about the Captain America mantle and not understanding fully what it meant for a black man to take up that mantle. And, you know, he apologizes and Sam thanks him for it, and it was a really good scene. So much understanding and growth. It was. You know?
It was a great character moment.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah. So yeah, then kind of moving near the end of the episode, we see the Flag Smashers again, and they have grown in numbers in primarily Europe and the U.S. But and it looks like they're using this like app to do it, to like get their message out, or some situation.
I really love the return to John Wick vibes too, of how she sends out the alert and everyone in the park is just like, "Oh, hey, what's going on?" You know what I mean? Cool. Like, that was fantastic.
Yeah, so I guess they're planning to attack the GRC vote on the Patch Act. Yeah. And the Patch Act, I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but it would force millions back to their home state. And so this is why...
all the people who moved around during the blip around the Earth,
or who were
all
displaced.
Forcing them back.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is kind of the triggering point of the Flag Smashers' next attack. And it looks like they had some people storming New York, and they were doing some kind of cyber attack as well. So
and it seemed like they had some people on the inside as well. Inside the event, like the security and stuff.
Yeah, it reminded me of that whole Hell Hydra thing that people used to whisper in their ears. But what was it this time? They said no flags.
One world, one people.
Oh, one world, one people. Yeah.
Yeah,
so that's going to be the new little phrase that's whispered around ear to ear. Oh, yeah, you know what? One other little thing I want to mention before we talk about the ending. Going back to Sam and Bucky real quick, I was looking down at my notes. It was interesting that Bucky mentioned to Sam that him and Steve had talked about giving the shield to Sam. So we finally got a little bit more context and a little bit more confirmation that there actually was a conversation because we just got like between Bucky and Steve. From Bucky when Sam was receiving the shield. He like looked up at Bucky like, oh shit, is this gonna piss off Buck? And then Bucky just like kind of gives him a nod, like it's okay.
Yeah, he had to ask Mom for permission.
Yeah. You know? So this week actually got a little bit more context that there was a conversation, and so I thought that was interesting. But
because it also kind of goes to plays into a little bit of everyone is sort of dealing with the ghost of Steve Rogers in a way.
Yeah.
I feel like that sort of plays into it too, of like Steve it seems like he sort of had something planned for Sam.
Yeah.
And you know how that's going to be confronted going forward. I think that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it definitely got me thinking about like that whole situation if Bucky talked to young version of Cap before he like time traveled, or if old man Cap had a conversation with Bucky like before that day.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm still trying to kind of like piece that together in my head. All the pieces might be there and the answer might be in my face. I just haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, that's a super trippy thought. I'm gonna have to trip out on that one.
Yeah. So speaking of Captain America and the end of this episode, if you watch, if I think it was after the credits, or it might have been before the credits. I can't even remember at this point. But we see the crazy scene of John Walker is building his own Captain America shield.
Dude, I missed that. What the hell?
Oh, then yeah, it must have been after the credits.
That must have been after the credits.
Yeah.
That's a trip. I'm gonna have to go back and look after all the credits, because usually like I scroll over the bar towards the end to see if there's anything. And even today I didn't see anything.
It was after the first credits, I think. Because you know how first it's like the fancy ones with the artwork in the background, and then it leads to the regular credits.
The scrolling, yeah.
Yeah. So
okay.
And so yeah, John Walker, dude, he's building his own Captain America shield. It looks like it's just made out of like regular metal. I mean, still,
yeah,
sure it's strong as hell, but it's not going to be anywhere near the Cap shield that he was used to. And it even looked like he was like putting like a war medal into it, like hammering it into it, and it gave me total vibes to Iron Man being back in the cave and building his suit. You even got like the dink dink sounds of him hammering it.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so in the comics, you know, he goes pretty rogue, and he's probably going to end up being some type of like anti-Captain America. So I think this is going to be super interesting. Or, you know, he'll be hired by one of these like secret government organizations that probably maybe Val is working for. Maybe we're going to see some more of Hydra in the future. Maybe he'll take arms up with them, which I don't think he would knowingly sign up with Hydra, because I still, even though he's like far gone, I still see him as like having like American ideologies, whether they be extreme or not. Like, I don't think that he would sign up with the enemy, so to speak, you know?
Yeah, because I feel like he is sort of like the anti-Captain America, where he's like, it's like he's on the very wrong end of the spectrum of patriotism. You know what I mean? In a way.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Yeah, I think the extremism version. Yes,
the extremism. That's what it is. It's very interesting, and it almost makes you wonder like how much they might set up with that too, with like how there seems to be a really big following for the Flag Smashers. Like it might set up like almost like a culture war set of scenario too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that, because especially with like earlier in the episode, John Walker, when he's talking to Lamar's parents, like he straight up lies and says, "Oh yeah, the dude I killed was the one who killed Lamar."
Yeah, dude.
And so I almost feel like they're being like, unfortunately, sort of like a rallying call behind John Walker, maybe, in like a way.
Yeah, like,
and that could be really interesting.
That's very interesting. And I almost see him, you know, thinking that he's doing good, being maybe somewhere closer to like an anti-hero, maybe even closer to someone like Punisher, where he's like super brutal and extreme, but you know, he's trying to do good, he's trying to do right. But and at first when you were talking, I was thinking, oh, maybe he would team up with the Flag Smashers, maybe he would become their new leader. But no, I think that if anything, he would still be targeting the Flag Smashers in these extreme ways that we're talking about, and with these and with these mentalities of like, I'll kill anyone that gets in my way kind of deal. Yeah, lots of trippy shit they can set up. Like, I think we have one episode left. I'm not 100% sure on that, but so it's gonna have to be a crazy episode to wrap everything up. Yeah, man. And then hopefully they'll set something up for us. You know, a small little cliffhanger or something to think about how this could continue. Because honestly, dude, I have no idea how they're gonna do. Like, are they gonna do like regular seasons for these shows, or like, are all of these shows just kind of like a test run, and they're only going to continue the ones with the best ratings? Like, I don't really know what's going to go on, so we're going to have to wait and see. I wonder if it's going to be starting to blur the line in a weird way between like the movies and the shows. Yeah. Where they're going to be like almost like flip-flopping back and forth, maybe. Like, certain stories need a movie, but certain stories need a show. Like, I don't know. I feel like Disney and Marvel, especially with like how Disney Plus is, and like how everything is moving towards streaming, like there's a lot of trippy like places they can take things. Yeah. So the last couple things I want to talk about are just a couple of my predictions. The first one is I think that Isaiah, the old man Cap, that the current old man Cap, we'll call him.
Yeah.
I think that we're gonna get crazy again with my mutant theories. Okay, just a warning.
All right, let's do it.
So if
let there be mutants.
Yes. So if we think back to me ranting off about mutants in our WandaVision episodes, I talked about how I think that, if you look in the comics, back to where more man came from, and the deviants and the Eternals, it's said that there was a hidden mutant gene that was hidden in humans long ago in their ancient past. And I think the movies are doing this in a way of like their mutant gene can be activated through something like extreme stress and that kind of thing. And I think that's how we've gotten special people throughout history. Like, I think that's how Wanda, for example, had magic before she was exposed to the stone. So I think, she could just manipulate magic because her mutant gene was activated. And then I think when the stone exposed her to radiation, her mutant abilities were then, like, amplified. So I'm basically taking this, too, from Deadpool. That's the Deadpool movie that they talked about. That's how they got his mutant gene to come out. They exposed him to, like, extreme stress until it activated. So with that said, I'm thinking, what if the same thing happened with Isaiah? Because you know how they said they were doing a bunch of experiments to find out why he was different, why the serum worked on him, and it didn't work very well with others? Well, my theory on that is maybe his mutant gene was activated, like, just being in war, and it didn't really do much, but when his body was exposed to the serum, it gave him the ability to withstand the serum and adapt to it. So I thought maybe that could be another small way that they could say that the mutant gene has always been here. So when they do bring in mutants into the MCU, they can bring out these small little moments of insane...
They can be like, oh, look back, here's a bunch of examples you guys didn't even know.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I don't know, it's just I'm going to keep pointing these out as I see them because I'm very, very excited about X-Men and mutants. Because in the comics, the Super Soldier program is like directly connected to Weapon X and Wolverine and all of that jazz. So we definitely need to keep our eyes open for the beginnings of something like that because this is where it's going to be. And years from now, we're going to look back and be like, see, they set everything up.
They were doing it all along.
Exactly.
Yep.
So anyway, my last little theory that came from this episode, and it's just kind of talking on what we mentioned earlier, and it's my theory of what I think is in the box. The favor that Bucky called in from Wakanda.
From Wakanda?
Yeah, the secret box that we have no idea what's inside. I think it's possibly a new Captain America uniform.
I could see that being a uniform.
Yes. Initially, I was like, oh, it's just going to be new wings. And then I was like, wait a second.
That's what I thought, too.
Why would they tease it like this? And then, as I even thought further, I just combined the two ideas. And I was like, oh, what if it's like a Captain America suit with wings? Like a Falcon-esque Captain America uniform. So it's almost like he can combine his... Because I'm pretty sure that's how they do it in the comics as well. I'm going to have to look at it again. But when he takes up the Captain America shield, I'm pretty sure he's still doing the whole Falcon wing tricks and all of that. So that's my official prediction for what's in the box. A Captain America wingsuit.
I can hella see that.
Yeah.
I can hella see that. Like... Because I don't think it's just gonna be like, oh, it's a Wakanda upgrade to what you had before. Like it's gonna be some sort of like to match. I feel like with the character growth in this episode, it's gonna be something like that. It's like, and even if it's not super overtly Captain American, like in a way, like stars and stripes everywhere, I feel like it's gonna be like the right nods where like he's gonna be like, "Oh my god, you motherfuckers!"
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And think about how special that is too, that it was made by Wakanda. If it is this type of like Captain America suit or wings, because then it goes hand to hand with like Captain America's shield. You know, in a lot of people's
vibranium.
in a lot of people's head, it's still owned by the Wakandans. So, you know, it kind of it continues that theme of Captain America was built by more than just a super serum. He was built by more people than just himself and Tony Stark's dad and this gentleman scientist that with the serum. I can't remember his name, but I really like that.
Dr. Nagel.
Yeah, or no, not him, but the original guy who did this.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah,
like it starts with an E or some shit. I don't know.
Something diabolical. But yeah, anyway, I like how it continues with that theme of the shield came from Wakanda. Maybe this new suit with new really dope wings would come from Wakanda. If the wings are made out of vibranium, oh, dude, those things are going to be insane.
Oh, dude, he's going to be able to straight up, like, fly through buildings and just, like, get through the walls, I feel like, type of shit. Like, I can imagine the warehouse scenes with that. Just crashing through the concrete with his freaking wings and his shield.
Yeah. Like, and I totally imagine him just like being able to throw out feathers, like metal feathers from the wings, like blades almost.
Oh, yes. Dude.
We don't even know what's in the box yet, and we're already like, I love it.
We already are imagining the scene of him coming out with the...
Exactly. Yeah, so
that's hilarious.
Definitely let us know down in the comments below your thoughts and theories about this. If you like the direction it's gone in, what your predictions are for the next episode, and how you think this is going to impact the MCU altogether moving forward.
As a whole.
Yeah. Let us know down below.
Yeah, heck yeah. And on that note, check us out on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at JustisBand.
I hope everyone out there has an excellent week, and until next time.
Catch you on the flip.
Yes.
All right.